Is a new Bardock on the horizon for Dragon Ball Legends? That's today's video topic. That's what we're going to talk about today. That is what a lot of people, in fact, have been talking about ever since it was announced that Frieza would be getting a Zenkai as well. And then we got the data mines the following day or so, and we saw some of the content that was coming, and this has been a very, very hot topic. So we're going to discuss that in today's Legends video. Be sure to stick around through the entirety of it so you guys get my entire perspective on what I think is going to wind up happening and when, for that matter. And then on top of that, though, we have some other stuff we're going to talk about, such as some announcements I have. In fact, I'm going to drop a sponsorship really quick, and then after that we're going to jump into the announcement, and then we'll talk about the Bardock situation. So here's our sponsor. Here we go. Introducing Raid Shadow Legends. Raid is easily among the most immersive experiences you'll ever find on a smartphone and can only really be compared to the biggest console and PC titles. In Raid, you can completely customize each aspect of your champions, from unique artifact setups to even custom mastery builds for every single champion. You can build them exactly how you want, so don't even worry about it. That being said, one of the things I love the most in Raid is the fact there are tons of different champions, so be sure, if you're interested in the hero collection, to pick it up. And I'd say that the Doom Tower is probably my favorite game mode in Raid Shadow Legends. It's really cool trying to devise strategies to beat these different teams and different floors that we're going to encounter throughout the Doom Tower. So when you get a chance to play the game, definitely do test this out. And this month, Raid just released a huge new Doom Tower update with 2 new bosses, Astronyx the Dark Fae and Bomal the Dreadhorn, plus enemy rebalances, new secret rooms, and tons of artifacts to win. Not to mention the new Super Raid feature as well that was added as part of this new massive Raid Shadow Legends update that you're not going to want to miss. And Raid is available to download and play through PC and on the various app stores. Be sure to pick it up on one of those locations, or both, why not? And if you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get an epic hero, Chinoru, who actually happens to be amazing in the Doom Tower, alongside 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in the game. See ya in the game. Alright, so once again, thank you so much for your support, and huge shout out to our sponsors as well for today's video. I want to just kind of drop that announcement really quick. I play a ton of games on the side, whether they're gachas or not, and one game I've been really interested in playing on the channel, I want to get feedback on, is Mega Man X. So very, 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 very old game. I never played through those games as a kid. Like, I would play them a little bit, but I was never great or played a ton of platformers. You know, I'm an early 90s kid. I never really played a ton of those. Even though they were available to me and accessible to me on various consoles like the NES, whatever, I never played a ton of like platformer type of games, and I really want to go back and kind of play some of those games. And I'm thinking about playing through the entirety of the X series, and then also coming back and playing Zero and ZX, but maybe making one game, like 1 video or 2 videos maximum, not a ton of different videos per boss. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Leave a comment down below if that's something you're interested in, or hit the thumbs up as well. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. If the reception's not great, I'll probably scratch the idea, but it's something I'm really interested in. I play, like I said, a lot of games, and I like to bring you guys videos on some of those other games. So talking about Bardock here, which is what you really came for a few minutes into the video, and thank you so much for your patience, really. So Bardock, where's the idea coming from, right? So Frieza got a Zenkai. Let me just kind of throw this out there. There's a few reasons why, but Miguel had a very good post that kind of talks a little bit about the idea here to start things off. So when Goku got a Zenkai, Kid Buu was released as part of that same celebration. Goten got his Zenkai really just like a month and a half ago, right? It hasn't been that long. Anyways, Goten gets a Zenkai, and then they released a new Broly, who is, I guess, a free character, but he still fits the theme, right? And now we do have an image of Frieza getting a Zenkai, and we have the idea of a new fighter on Legends, a new Bardock. So this, by the way, I think this art was from Icy Cardados. This is such a throwback. Anyway, so there's Bardock there, and he does use a full screen image of the Buchi-Giri match, another throwback art for Bardock here. So the idea is, the speculation is people are thinking that, you know, when it comes to Legends, if you're new to the game, I have been able to predict a lot of anniversary characters. Sometimes they're more obvious than others, or big celebration characters, by following similar trends like this or patterns like this. Now, I think as a community, sometimes we look at every single thing they put on their Twitter like, oh, this is a hint, and it's not. It's not always a hint, right? They're not always hinting things, but they do oftentimes follow patterns, right? So with the idea that Frieza getting a Zenkai could lead to a new Bardock, there's a little bit more credence to that idea. So let's talk about the fact that we are getting Battle Gauntlet Bardock. This is now live in the game. It came out a couple of days ago as part of the new data mine, or the new release, I guess, the new patch on the game that did introduce the Frieza Zenkai. Anyways, so they're bringing Bardock back in some capacity by making him a Gauntlet boss and putting him in the forefront, showing you Bardock here. That's kind of one thing that's happening here. So do keep that in mind with Bardock getting more relevance. On that same topic, they did put his face plastered on a new platinum equip. This isn't a PvP gold equip or anything. This is a platinum equip, strongest equips in the game generally speaking. They are the hardest ones to get, hardest ones to farm up, etc., etc. Platinum is the gold standard for equipment, and Bardock has his image plastered on it. This equip is specific to anime original Saga's characters. By the way, if you're wondering why he's in here, it's because he's not from a movie. I think as a kid they were marketed as movies back in the 90s. The Bardock movie, quote unquote, the Trunks, History of Trunks movie, quote unquote. Those are not movies. There was 15 movies for Dragon Ball Z, Dead Zone, World's Strongest, Tree of Might. You see the list here. They're not movies, right? They are specials though. Father of Goku, blah blah blah, History of Trunks, all that stuff. Those are specials. So he is not a movie character, which is why he's not on that team for the record. That's one thing that I always have to kind of point out, because like I said, they are marketed as such and it just kind of stuck, right? Anyways, these are the characters that equip is applicable to, and as you see, all the Bardocks are pretty much in here. Same with his crew, etc. So now, one thing I will say is, oh, by the way, all the Bardocks except for the Dragon Ball Super Broly Bardock, because he actually does have the movies tag because he's from the movie. Even though he's from Dragon Ball Minus, but they put that in the movie, so it is what it is. Moving on from that topic, Bardock's kind of all over the place, and it's very, very possible that the next release is a Bardock release, or Bardock releases on the horizon. I mean, you can really just look back just a few weeks of content, right? We got an LF Vegeta, we got the SS Blue SS Blue, we got the LF SS Blue Evolution Vegeta, we got the God of Destruction Topo. They were released on back-to-back banners as opposed to being together as they probably should have been, but they do follow sequential orders for a lot of things like that. You can look back in the history of Legends, years at this point, and see, oh, this character released, and they're all like following a theme, right? They do this together, and that's one thing that you can kind of bank on when it comes to Legends, and you've always been able to do that. So kind of moving on from that topic, when the next, if we're talking about a Legends limited character, for the record, I know we just got Vegeta, but Legends limited characters are monthly, for the record. If you haven't caught that, when the calendar hit 2021, Legends limited characters became monthly releases as opposed to like bi-monthly. They became monthly releases. So Vegeta dropped when? When is the Vegeta release? It's not that long ago, right? The banner was introduced on the 17th of August. You know what this means? Do you know what this means? That means we're gonna get another freaking Zenkai by the 17th of September. Not Zenkai, LF, by the 17th of September, which is literally a week from now. they could realistically have a new LF in the game as early as the 14th. Just for the record, they have done the middle of the month for months, basically, ever since the beginning of the year. So I know Vegeta just dropped and his banner will still be up, but they are going to drop another LF by then. LFs are so common, dude. I think this is why I think we're also going to see Zenkai start popping up a lot more frequently for the LFs. Like, there's a 4-month gap between Goten and Goku. There's like a month gap between Goten and Frieza, and then we still have a few LFs that are older that haven't gotten theirs. I think they're just going to start pumping them out, dude. I don't know, maybe not anytime soon, maybe like in the next like 6 months we'll start seeing a lot more. Anyways, so Bardock could potentially be getting an LF soon, right? That's more or less the idea here. And if it's not a new LF Bardock, just for the record, you guys can't really see my calendar here, but the idea is if it's not a new LF Bardock, next week is most likely a LF character. Just throwing that out there, that follows the order that they drop characters in. It's a few days off, give or take, but the idea is it's going to be next week that it's going to be a new LF, and the following week after that should be a Zenkai. And unless they mess up this pattern where they go new character Zenkai, new character Zenkai, new character Zenkai, or it's a filler week with like rerun banners or whatever, and then it's a Zenkai, and then it's a new character. Like they sometimes switch it up like that, but you know, the following week after that would be a Zenkai. And if it is a Zenkai 2 weeks from now, basically, not next week, but the week after that, we look at the characters that are applicable in the same topic as Bardock characters that could potentially get a Zenkai, because a Zenkai could really fit the theme as well. Just, you know, in terms, this is until 9/14. No. Okay, you get the XP times 2. Okay, until 9/21. Yeah, see, they put this out in a period where it could apply to either a new LF or a new Zenkai, because 9/21 takes us to 2 weeks from a release, which could be, again, in that slot, it could be a new character or Zenkai. Most likely that's the week for Zenkais, though. I'm kind of confusing you. 9/14, right, this week, upcoming week, they typically drop new characters on the 14th, not the 14th, but the Tuesday of the month. Man, I need to show you my goddamn calendar, because I'm just going to confuse the living hell out of you. Let me go ahead and pull up my calendar here. Okay, let me just do this really quickly, because it's very easy to understand. So the 7th here, the 7th was the release of the content that we got. They drop stuff, depending on your time zone anyway, at 11 p.m. for me in Pacific time, I believe. They drop new content. It might be 10 p.m. due to daylight, whatever, 10 or 11, depending on your time zone. For some of you guys, it's probably Wednesday morning, whatever. So in this period, right? So the 14th would be when I'm talking about a new LF coming out. Now, they could extend the release of the banner to be Friday. Sometimes they do that, where they put the data mine in here and extend the release of the banner to the following Friday, the few days later, just to keep it in some sort of order of release. The 21st would be a Zenkai character. That's typically how it goes. It goes new character, Zenkai, new character, Zenkai, right? So keep that in mind. That's more or less what I'm trying to say here. Sorry, it could be a little confusing. So, pretty much in terms of that, these are the characters that are applicable for Zenkais, for Bardocks. Do I think, I haven't done the video yet, but this is one of those characters I just don't want to see get a Zenkai, for the record. But like, he deserves it due to the merit of how old he is and various other factors. He deserves it, but I don't want to see him bring some crazy meta to the game where it's more lock and kill. I don't know. But they have been really toning down Zenkais. Even LF Zenkais are not as crazy, so maybe they'll find a way to do it right. But I'm really keeping my eye out for the yellow Bardock. I know he doesn't fit the idea, because again, he is not the anime original Bardock. He's the movie's character. He could still fit the theme in name, but I want to see this dude get a Zenkai, because he never actually really did have his moment in the sun. Like when he released, it was kind of whatever. I think he released with Tapion. They were just kind of whatever, just blech, you know. And he was a yellow Sagas from the movie's character. That slot was adamantly taken by another character. There was no chance for this dude, so I like to see him get that personally. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Is the idea of a Zenkai Bardock or a new Bardock release outlandish? No. Is it possible? I'd actually say it's 50-50. If they do drop a new Bardock, it's most likely going to be some variation of the typical Bardock that we know, because of the fact that, again, they're dropping the anime original stuff. We see the Z Bardock here. It's not going to be Super Bardock, so do keep that in mind. When would this be? Next week if it's a new character, or it doesn't have to be an LF, for the record. They could extend to LF or just decide to skip a month. That's possible. But if it's a new character, it will be next week, because this week was a Zenkai, right? And if it's the Zenkai, we'll get some other new character next week, maybe tied to Frieza, like a transforming Zarbon or something. I don't know. And then the following week, it could be a Zenkai for a pre-existing Bardock in the game. So I'm talking about the 21st, for the record. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but just keep in the back of your mind that the way Legends works is Zenkai, new character the next week, or if it's not a new character, it's a rerun of set banners, like, oh, Legends whatever banners, right? They just rerun old characters in the set banner, and they try to incentivize them some way. Maybe they'll put the Z power on the banners, and then the following week after that will be a Zenkai, and then it'll be a new character, then a Zenkai, then a new character. That's how they work, right? So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed, and yeah, thank you so much. Let me know what you guys think about the Mega Man X idea, and I'll see all of you in the next one.